Hello, Professor Nolan here again. I'm here today now to talk to you about composting. Why? Because composting is one of the most important things you can learn and do for sustainability. Composting will take your biodegradable waste and turn it into a reusable product. So it's a renewable cycle where your waste is turning into soil, and that soil is full of fertilizer that you can then add to your garden beds and grow food out of it. So it's really, really useful to take your nutrients that would be otherwise wasted. You pay to get them to haul it and burn or landfill your trash. Well, about 40% of trash is food waste, food scraps and paper, things that are biodegradable. So if you can compost your waste instead of trashing it, at least the stuff that's biodegradable, it's going to really reduce your carbon footprint and make the world more sustainable. So here I'm at the food forest, and we have a community compost pile. So anybody can actually come and bring their compostables. So there's steps how to compost. Of course, you're going to bring it from home. You're going to place it on top of the pile. You want to add some paper or nitrogen for balancing the chemistry. You want to add some paper products or other leaves and soil to keep it dark and moist so it decomposes faster. If you leave it on the surface where it's dry, it's never going to break down. You don't want to add, of course, not plastic. You want to avoid meat, dairy, a lot of oil or animal waste. We don't want to be attracting raccoons and things on campus. Although a little bit of like leftover mac and cheese and stuff, a little leftover pizza has a little bit of oil or a little bit of dairy, that's okay. But please don't be pouring like rotten milk in here and things. Of course, coffee grounds, tea bags are really great. Paper, cardboard and stuff. So here we've separated a large pile into smaller sections so that we can turn it. Turning the compost really helps to get the dry stuff on top to the bottom and helps to aerate it and keep it going. So that's what we're doing here. And basically it creates beautiful soil that's gonna smell really good. And that's just the natural process. Compost should smell earthy and sweet. If it smells bad, you're not doing it right. Usually if it's sitting in water, it's anaerobic, meaning no oxygen, it will get stinky. But otherwise, your pile should smell good. It's aerated, it's selecting for good bacteria. And really, it's bacteria and bugs and other microbes that make the process happen. Here's our bigger pile. So we put all of our weeds in here and stems and prunings and things, and then they just break down. It's pretty simple. Oh, this looks like a daylily growing in here. Well, I might end up saving that. There's some elderberries that we pruned that are growing back. Those are unforgivable. They just keep growing no matter what you do. So that is composting in a nutshell. I talked about the nitrogen green sources and then the carbon or brown sources. You want to balance those out. So you don't want to be constantly adding fresh, very wet green material. That'll get very stinky, very wet. The chemistry is not balanced. You want to be adding carbon. So carbon is once a plant is dead and it's brown, so leaves and straw, cardboard and paper, those are all really good carbon sources. Ideally, you want to rip this up and make it into smaller chunks. That'll help it to break down faster, and try to bury it a little bit as well so it's not going to blow away and so it doesn't dry out. But yeah, composting can be done indoors with the worm bin system. I have a video explaining that process. And otherwise, at home, I have a lazy compost. I just throw my materials off the side of my porch. My chickens scratch through it. The worms will come through it. Even if you do have some rodents coming through it, it's fine. They eat what they will and they leave the rest to rot. And really in compost, you want it to rot. Rot is good. That's what's gonna break it down and turn it back into the nutrients that plants need. So hopefully this inspired you to start composting. You can bring your compostables to campus, or if you have a yard, you can do it in your backyard, or you can also get some red wiggler worms online and create a worm bin system and do it completely indoors. So you have no excuse. Everyone should be composting. Even if you can't do all of your waste, at least some will make a huge difference. Thank you so much for watching.